buddy. What's up to Lion Talk Live? So we love you too, buddy.
What's going on, guys? It is Aiden Hutchinson.
What's up, man? It's your boy Amon-Ra St. Brown.
What's up, everybody? It's Calvin Johnson Jr. here, a.k.a. Megatron, a.k.a. First Ballot.
What's going on, Coach Dan at Lions Talk Live and the Duke Crew? This is Ball Hawk Ifeatu Melifonwu of the Detroit Lions. Everybody make sure you help support the YouTube channel Lions Talk Live by clicking that like and subscribe button. Let's get it and go Detroit.
Greetings and salutations to everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Dan Skipper, offensive weapon for the Detroit Lions. Make sure you all help support Lions Talk Live and Coach Dan by clicking on that like and subscribe button. Everybody, woo!
I love nothing more than watching Lions Talk Live every morning. Woo!
Well, greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I'm your host once again, Dan Thornton, and I want to thank you all for joining us here today, Saturday, the day before the big game. And let's face it, it's an early season matchup between two teams, all looking to ascend in a pivotal contest for both teams in that regards. The Cardinals, after losing a tough one against the Buffalo Bills, have come out and played the Sisters of the Poor, the nobody left here to play LA Rams. And you know what? Hey, they put up some big stats, but I think even with everything they did out there, we need to examine today's episodes of Lions Talk Live, the Detroit Lions offense. Much meleaguered, much maligned. Hey, people saying we've been figured out. But do the stats support that? We'll dive into that. At the bottom of the hour, we do have Hutch Jr., Mike Kipp. He's going to join us here today, have a little bit of a debate about the Detroit Lions, so we'll get into that. Also, as you guys know, we're going to have 5 headlines now. But before we do, we're going to take a half second of time. Just let you know, if you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. We're making that push for 8,000 subs, and we are less than 40. We're 35 subs away from hitting that mark. So if you can help out, take a half second time, hit that thumbs up button. Also, if you would be so kind, free of charge, hit the like button, whatever you want to call it button, the thumbs up button. As you guys probably do know, it helps the channel out and the content within it. So if you can, take a real quick moment, hit that button, help out the channel, and we'll get that going. All right, we're going to head on over to the first segment of the day. And that is, as you guys all know, it is 5 headlines now. All right, 5 headlines now. I think we got some good ones here today. Detroit Lions sound content, leaning on veteran practice squad and wide receiver. This is from mlive.com by Ben Raven. And you guys probably know who the receiver they're talking about is. Tim Patrick. He had a bit of an impact, both positive and negative last week. But what do you expect for a guy who's been here less than 2 weeks and getting his first live action? You can see in a lot of his routes how the defense has to adjust for him and how it opens up some other guys. You can also see how St. Brown had one of his bigger games of the season. Obviously, a noticeable jump from week 1 to week 2 in his production. And some of that is because of Sam Laporta. Some of that is the guy we just mentioned, Tim Patrick. You can see how the defenses have to expand to adjust for them. Jamison Williams, we all know he's having a phenomenal start to his season this year. He's having some big plays and one of the biggest play receivers in the NFL so far. So that could be a segue into the main topic of the day. But I do believe Tim Patrick is going to continue to rise in his status with the Detroit Lions and over the course of the season, probably help alleviate some of the burden by the loss of Josh Reynolds. All right, Arizona Cardinals and Detroit Lions both have some big names on the injury report heading into Sunday. SB Nation story by Seth Cox. So Seth Cox is spot on with this. The Lions, yes, have some guys, and so do the Arizona Cardinals. So let's go ahead and go to the Arizona Cardinals. Let's see, did not practice Thursday. Xavier Thomas, Kelvin Beachum, if I'm pronouncing his name right, their starting right tackle is probably going to not play Sunday. We'll have to find out. But yesterday there was him and one other person who pulled a hamstring. And yes, that's probably going to limit them or really put them on the sideline. So we'll see what happens out. But they do have a couple other guys on the list that are questionable. My thought is really questionable means you're going to play. In regards to the Detroit Lions, Alex Anzalone, as we all know, did return to practice. So did Terrion Arnold. We'll have to wait and see. It'll be, my guess, more of a game time decision if Arnold starts or is just there for depth purposes. Graham Glasgow did return also from a knee injury practice, but as we talked about last week's game, we said, man, his performance was not great. I'm going to guess a lot of it did come down to him injuring his knee. Rakestraw did not practice. He's not going to play this weekend. Same with Iffy Melifanu. Davenport did go. He's going to play. Same with Amon-Ra St. Brown. Zay Williams, my anticipation is he will play with his abdomen injury, but is he going to be 100%? I guess we'll have to wait and see. But some injuries that are definitely going to affect both teams. It'll be interesting to see because the Cardinals' pass blocking it's not bad. It's just not great. I get a lot of that is because all teams are getting their offensive lines so used to playing with each other early in the season. It used to be the rule coming out of training camp in the preseason games years and decades ago that, hey, defenses had a huge advantage to start the year. And then I guess that kind of changed the last 15 or so years where offenses seem to be exploding out of the gates. Not so much this year as we all get that the defenses have really ruled the NFL this year. How much have they ruled the roost? Well, you look at the Cards game last week, and their defense was all over Stafford and basically the no receivers that he had to work with. The Cardinals, though, faced a Rams team, and I get we're going to talk about this probably today, that really, the more you watch that tape, they just laid down and did not have anybody to work with. All right, Dan Campbell on security issues, quote, "I don't even want to go there," end quote. Sports Illustrated, story by Christian Boer of Sports Illustrated. So he was asked, MCDC was asked yesterday at his presser, specifically about the situation with his house. Fans storming the gated community, getting to his house and location. And he just said, basically he didn't want to talk about it. Did say, hey, he thought the Detroit Lions fans are the greatest in the NFL. And he thought, there's no other environment in the NFL quite like a Detroit fan base and a Detroit team when they have things going. I think we all get it. We're all here watching this show. Most of us are watching it, 6-7 days a week or whatever. We have a great fan base and a fan base that really just supports the team exponentially. We love our Detroit Lions. We also probably get there are some fans that get a little over the top with it. I understand why MCDC didn't really want to publicly address it or say anything of a negative fashion because you want to focus on the vast majority of people, not the couple knuckleheads running around doing some questionable things, I guess you would say. All right, Sheila Hamp, next topic. Sheila Hamp, Detroit Lions owner, ranked among 50 most influential figures in sports. This is from the Detroit Free Press, story by Marlo Alters. So let that sink in. If you're a Detroit Lions fan and you've been through everything you've been through, watching this team for decades, hey, we finally got a relevant franchise, maybe one of the best in the NFL by today's standards, and our owner might be one of the most influential people in all of professional sports worldwide. How much has the Lions changed? And yes, we lost last week, so you know what? Everybody's going to lose a game. But let that sink in that our ownership, now once thought to be the drudge of any professional sports, we were the LA Clippers, basically, of the league. Back in the day, the Clippers were thought of as the worst franchise in pro sports. We probably weren't far off. Now, things have done a complete turnaround. And yes, Detroit Lions and their ownership are among the best out there. All right, in the last of the 5 headlines now, Detroit Lions, quote, "love our safeties," end quote. Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch for unique skills, Detroit Free Press, story by Jared Ramsey. And if you do Scooby-Doo deep dive onto this story from Jared Ramsey, I think he's spot on with it. The Detroit Lions safeties offer a number of flexible options for Aaron Glenn in the defense, but also they're both performing incredibly well. They already each have an interception, they have some pass breakups, and they've had some opportunities to make some bigger plays. We all get the start of the NFL season now is vastly different than it was in the past. It takes time to get people to play at their top levels. It's not like it used to be where we'd get enough reps during the preseason where both offense and defense would kind of come out ready to go, ready to play. It's a vastly different world, and I think the Detroit Lions safety position looks solid for the foreseeable future. Whether that's 3 or 5 years, I guess we'll have to wait and see. But these two guys are the real deal, in my opinion. I think there's a strong possibility Brian Branch at the end of the year is in the Pro Bowl. Kirby Joseph, he might just be on the alternate list for it. So 2 Detroit Lions safeties maybe making the Pro Bowl. We'll have to wait and see. All right, with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and head over to the main topic of the day. All right, main topic of the day. We've all been talking about the Detroit Lions offense. We get it was not great by any stretch of the imagination against the Rams, but it had its moments. Last week against the Bucs, I'm going to say this. The more you watch the film, the more you Scooby-Doo the numbers, you're probably going to look back and say, man, this Detroit Lions offense is not bad, especially when you look across the league that is struggling at a historic level to produce yardage and points. And there's a lot of reasons for that. We're not going to, make this video all about that. But I think the more you watch the film, the more you watch some of the missed opportunities out there on offense. And yes, the struggles. Let's think about this real quick. If this offense doesn't have 2 turnovers, 2 interceptions, where one, Jameson Williams is mugged, and yes, it should have been called. I don't care if you're a Cards fan, a Bucks fan, a fan of Canadian Football League. I think we can all look at that play and objectively say, yes, there should have been pass interference. The second interception, the deep shot that was to Tim Patrick, clearly a miscommunication between Goff and Patrick. So now you got those 2 turnovers. Now you got the flub, I guess, right before halftime on the not kicking a field goal, the guys running on the field, taking away 3 points from the team. Factor in all that plus the miscommunications we had throughout the day on offense, and we still nearly won that game. Let that sink in. Your offense and your defense were that sound where you could mess up left and right and still nearly win the game. Let's do a deep dive real quick and talk about how strong this Detroit Lions offense apparently is starting to become. And I think, guys, when Sam Laporta gets healthy, when they get the same page or the offense on the same page a little bit more, this offensive line actually figures out what they're doing together. Let's Scooby-Doo where we're at now and think about where that takes us into the future. Net yards. Who's the second best team in the NFL in total yardage so far after 2 weeks? If you said the Detroit Lions, you are correct. First downs, 47 first downs already this season. Tied for second place. And by the way, the net yards, 826. Third downs conversion rate. This one, this gets better. We're going to get the offense is going to get a whole lot better. Right now, we're 8th in the NFL at basically 43% third down rate. And a lot of that's because last week when we faced third and long, we just weren't getting them. Sacks allowed. This one surprised me a little bit because, to be honest, I didn't think the offensive line so far this year has played that great, but it also shows how much upside they really do have. They've only allowed 2 sacks this year, and that is first place, tied for first place, I should say, entering week 3. So I didn't factor in the Thursday night stats to this for those 2 teams since they've played a third game. Sack rate, sacks allowed per pass attempt, and this one isn't even close. We only give up sacks on 2.2% of drop backs. So we are first in the league, and that's first by a large margin. Second place is 9%. So to me, 7% difference is a large amount. Yards per carry, 5.2. That's 8th in the NFL. Some of that, as everybody knows, watching the game last week is really skewed because when we hit last week on runs, we got big runs. When we did not hit, we got stuffed or even lost yards. Rushing yards, we are 9th in the league at 302. Yards per first down play, 6.34, and that's 3rd in the NFL. Passing yards per game, 262, 2nd in the NFL. Here's the killer, though. Red zone possessions. Now, we get into the red zone as good as any team in the league. We've had 11 trips in the red zone, so we're tied for first. But as you guys all know, the scoring in the red zone, we're struggling there after last week. We are number 27th in the NFL in red zone opportunities. Scoring offense, we're at 21 points per game, 16th in the NFL. And obviously, if we produce more in the red zone, that scoring offense is going to skyrocket exponentially. So there's just some real quick numbers to you guys. And the more I did it from an analytical standpoint, breaking down some of these numbers for you guys, and the more I started looking and facing reality in the face, this Detroit Lions team is pretty damn freaking good. Because like I said, when you mess up, I want to use a different word there, when you mess up so much during a game, the Tampa Bay game, and you still could win the game, that speaks to volumes, how strong your defense is performing, and in some regards, your offense is performing. Not everybody, but a lot of the Lions fan base has really been, hey, the sky is falling, it's the end of the world, this season's a joke, whatever you want to say. But now let's review the NFL as a whole. We're performing that well while still having so many problems on offense, getting people on the same page. The offensive line needs to block better. We could go through a laundry list of different details, but we're doing this well and still having all these problems. My anticipation is this week will look noticeably better than last week. Last week obviously was better than week 1, and then when we play the week 4, we'll probably look better even still. I'm starting to think more and more the bye week for us is perfect, because while a lot of teams don't have an opportunity to make in-season adjustments, there's just not a ton of time. You get 3 practices before your next game. You're seeing steady improvement in certain areas, probably from our team and other teams. But the Detroit Lions are now going to have a very early, more or less you could say 2-week break to get ready and prepare for, improving this, improving that, letting guys heal up. I actually think we're going to have a massive advantage over the Dallas Cowboys when we face them in that week 5 game, or 6, I guess it is actually, but you guys get the gist. All right, so these are my thoughts about the Detroit Lions offense. I think we are going to be one of the best offenses in the NFL, and so far, 2 weeks only, so limited sample size, the evidence is there. We're putting up tons of yards. We're just not scoring. Can Ben Johnson, Jared Goff, and everybody else in between do some things to get us in the end zone? Or do you as a fan base feel like this is as good as it's going to be all year? Which do you feel is more likely? Sam Laporta is going to start scoring some touchdowns, same St. Brown, Montgomery, Gibbs, everybody else on the offense, or is what happened against the Bucs the wave of the rest of the season? Let's see what you guys have to say. But the more I've watched that film, the more I use an analytical approach to get after this, the more I think, man, this team could be pretty stacked and pretty loaded going into the rest of the year. All right, we got about 13 minutes till Hutch Jr., so let's get into the Dew Crew. JDC, morning all, and glad to see you first. Good morning to you too. Bo, good morning, Dew Crew. Blowing up, sir! Exclamation point. I see Super Bowl. Woo! And I'm agreeing with you. I see Super Bowl in our future. Jason, Superdome or bust, 100%, my friend. Happy to see you this morning. Big Daz, let's see. Good morning, Coach Dan and Dew Crew. I finally made it back to the greatest podcast of all time! Exclamation points. Oh, yeah! I hope the offense gets it together. Not a one-trick pony. No, and I think we will. And, hey, glad to have you back, my friend. Glad to have you back. Let's see, Robert, greetings and salutations, Coach and crew. Same to you, Robert. Hopefully you're having a phenomenal morning. Rich, I think Ben Johnson learned a valuable lesson last week, and we will run the ball and set up the pass. I believe so, too. And, the Cards, I think the Cards are a pretty good team. I just think the Lions have more going for them. Obviously, the biggest X factor for this game is going to be, in my opinion, Kyler Murray. You contain him, you limit him. I think we got a real good opportunity to win this one and maybe even win by like 10 points or so. Let's see, Clark, what up, Dew Crew? Exclamation points, question marks. I hope you are right, Coach. Exclamation point. We need this team to start scoring touchdowns, and I think we will, man. Like I've said tons of times, I guess over the start of the season so far, you have so many teams playing, too high safety. They're trying to make you nickel and dime them down the field. Goff has admitted, and I agree with it, he's trying to beat it too quickly, have too many big hit plays instead of just taking the stuff that they're giving him, the nickel and dime stuff, the Tom Brady, you could almost say, approach to beating this type of coverage. Hey, just take the 3 to 4 yarders, because you know what? You get 2, 3 to 4 yarders, now you got third and short. You've got everything in front of you. I think that's what they're probably worked on this week. All right, Big Eddie, greetings, salutations, y'all. This is a Super Bowl contending team, just like Philly, 49ers, and others. Seems to be a lot of teams struggling a bit early in the season. We will develop, though, I believe. I believe you're right. Yeah, I think we will get things going, get things progressing. Again, how much better do we look week 2 versus week 1? I think that will carry over here. And, we'll have another big, strong performance and move upwards is my anticipation tomorrow in week 3. Bo, increase the red zone efficiency to just 50%, will unlock a torrent of scoring. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're 100% right. If we just score 1 or 2 more touchdowns in last week's game, I mean, we not only win, but we win by a comfortable margin. We got into the red zone 7 times. Man, how different one more touchdown would have made the fan base feel, let alone everybody about the team. See, Matthew, greetings and salutations. Good morning, everyone. Superdome, Super Bowl. Woo, woo, woo. Sheila likes a woo in the fresh morning, dude. Yes, she does. You know what? You ask, you shall receive. And there you go. All right, Man Bear. Good morning, Scooby-Doo crew. Exclamation point. Woo! And good morning to you too, Man Bear. Friends, good day all. As I get farther away from last week's game, I tend to feel much better about this team. We dominated that game. Just need to score more TDs. 100%. I mean, I get we're all going to pick on Terry Arnold to a certain degree because, hey, it would appear at least, a miscommunication on that 40, whatever it was, yard touchdown score to Tampa Bay. Yes, Rodrigo, he had an opportunity to keep Mayfield out of the end zone, and he got juked. He's probably got razzed a lot, especially as the days went on more and more and got some separation from the game by the fellas in the locker room because, hey, man, that quarterback just put you on the floor, and it's true. As far as the offense, though, I think we all see the potential there. We all understand the weapons are there. There's just a couple little things that need nuances that need to be improved upon, and I concur with you. We'll score more touchdowns. Dave, how can they not explode? I think we will, Dave. I think we will. I think we'll end up putting up a lot of yards, scoring a lot of touchdowns. It's just early season stuff. Everybody getting on the same page. Hey, that's probably slowed us down a touch. Stephanie, good morning, boys! Exclamation point. The running game will get on track tomorrow, and that will lead to more explosive pass plays. Can't wait to watch the defense versus Kyler. No, I think you're spot on. I know we've talked about it already. The Cards, I don't think will be one of the teams that play so much too high safety. And a lot of that is because of Budda Baker and just the phenomenal defensive player he is. He is a playmaker, a game changer. They do drop him into the box a lot. So unless they're going to do something different where they play 3 safeties and put 2 other people up top, I just anticipate he'll be up there. So there could be more deep shots available to Goff and the offense early. If the Cards do the 2 high safety, then you're going to have to go back to doing what every NFL team did in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. You're going to pound the ball, force that team to drop somebody in there, or one of the safeties into the box, to give you an overload or an 8-man front. If not, then you keep hammering them. You do that, you dink and dunk them down the field, I think we're going to be fine. And Dave, on paper, they are the best team in the NFL, so start acting like it. Yeah, they will, man. But again, learning opportunities for all of them. I mean, raise your hands in the comments section. How many of you thought the Baltimore Ravens would start the season off 0-2? How many of you thought that the Niners would have lost last week? It's just, hey, part of it is that's just life in the NFL. The other part is not performing in the preseason does lead to some learning opportunities during the regular season. All right, at least in my opinion. Brent, greetings, salutations, day in the Duke Crew. Superdome, no bust, exclamation point. Oh, yeah, and I'll go with all of the above. Good morning to you too, my friend. Jesse, greetings and salutations. I believe we are a strong team, exclamation point. I just don't want to see the fan base continue to jump ship if we drop a few games over the season. This week has been incredible regarding that. I know, here's what I would say, Jess. I think MCDC is spot on that this is a phenomenal fan base. We all just love living and breathing, Lions football. I get you go to some other markets. Hey, if the team's winning, they're going to support them. If not, they don't even pay attention and life goes on. It's different here because of how wired into the team the vast majority of fans are. So I'll use this as an example. When we lost to the 49ers last year, I think in the next 3 or 4 days, I probably had like 20 people unsubscribe. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was like 5, but you get the gist. A lot of people unsubscribe. And I think a lot of that is just because the emotions. They wanted to take a break from the game. They felt hurt, jilted, whatever. And I think a lot of it is the same last week with Tampa Bay. When this team loses, typically, unless it's something like the Dallas game where everybody feels like we got jobbed and robbed, I think it's very hard on people emotionally. And they do come back, they do regroup, but it takes a couple days for them to do so. Phil, good morning. Good morning to you too, Phil. Nice new guitar, by the way, my friend. Let's see, Tori, good morning. Duke Crew, exclamation point. Laporta, St. Brown, and Jay Powell. I like that. All get touchdowns. Now, wouldn't that be something? Jameer, what do you got? Good morning, Duke Crew. Back at you. Good to see you in the chat this morning. Man, top of the morning to you, Dan, and the Duke Crew. Let's get this party started. 100%, my friend. 100%. Can't wait to see what we do tomorrow. Dave, well, after years of falling short, we, the fans, almost expect frailer side recite the urge. 100%. Yeah, we all get into our feelings at times for 100%. See, Trey, what's good all? Question mark. I think we win tough games this week and next week. Head into the bye, and now we have a huge advantage getting ready for Dallas's defense really struggling. No, I agree. We get through these next 2 games and get into that bye, I think we are real strong and set up. And yes, we do kind of have a few pseudo buys later in the year. I think there's 2 different stretches where we have like 10 days off because we play on Thursday. So even though we have this early bye, I think it's a gift, and we more or less have them later on. Dallas is D. I'm going to guess they get things together and get things figured out. If not, then yeah, we've got a real good opportunity to snag a win there. David Miller, what do you got? About to board a plane. Just wanted to stop in and say what up. Hey, well, what's up to you too? Hopefully you have a great trip wherever you're going, my friend, and safe travels. See, Hookadoo, good morning, Dan, the Duke Crew, Roar, Detroit. Woo! It's almost time to pick a few feathers off the cards. There we go. One pride. Yeah, pick the cards apart. That's what I hope we do. I do think it's going to be more of a scoring game than a defensive game. I hope I'm wrong for selfish reasons. I hope the Lions, shut the cards out. Hope we hold them to negative 120 yards total offense. But I do anticipate in real reality, it's probably going to be a higher scoring game. It's my anticipation. Doesn't mean that will happen. Papa Noel, what do you got? Have a great trip, Dave. Yeah, 100%. Dave, go enjoy it and have a fun time. Papa No, go Lions. There you go. Let's see, Dave. This game will be a blowout, 55-13. Man, I would take that. We win like that tomorrow. Hey, the fan base, we'll all be feeling a whole lot different than we did last Monday. Voltron Force, Dave Smith. If we win like that, I'll be dancing the streets. Haha. Yes, you and me both, man. I will go right out and do an Irish jig in the streets. Maybe I'll do a live cast for it. It's Phil. Don't discount Arizona. They are playing better than us. I mean, they're definitely playing well. Their week 1 game against the Bills, I actually think they should have won that one. But we could also say that about the Lions last week. So there's obviously an argument to be made. Both teams should be 2-0 at this point. See, Dave, every Lion is geared up. I would agree. I want to say since MCDC took over, and one of you guys may know this stat better than I am, I want to say the Lions, after a loss, are 8-0. So they don't typically lose 2 in a row. It's probably going to happen at some point. I just hope it's not tomorrow. Let's see, Dave, laughing out loud. Phil, sorry. No worries there. Quentin, Phil, are they? I don't know. Watch the Rams game. Rams didn't even try to play. I would agree that you get past, I don't know, maybe it was the first quarter, maybe it was halftime, something like that. But the Rams, and I know I talked about it this week, the Rams just looked like they gave up. I get they were injured against us. They were obliterated by the time they, got halftime through the Cards game. I mean, they didn't really have anybody left in the receiving core. They didn't really have anybody left on the offensive line. The defense had been, decimated too. I feel, horribly bad for the Rams and their fan base because, I mean, they're not just playing with backups. They're playing with the backup to the backups in a lot of spots. All right, Phil, since the loss to the 49ers, then Lions have not shown up to play. I mean, it's been different. I mean, obviously, we won against the Rams. We found a way to pull that off, and we had our opportunities to win. Like I said, we played about as poorly as we could against the Bucs with self-inflicted wounds, and yet we still nearly had an opportunity to win. A lot of people are saying how strong the Bucs are, but let that sink in. If we don't turn it over, if we don't rush onto the field and mess up a field goal before half, all these other odd things, did the Bucs really outplay us, or did we outplay the Bucs and give the game away, kind of? All right, Dave, cards aren't good. I'll go with that. Let's see, David, relax all. This team is going to be fine. I tend to agree with you. I think as young as they are, still evolving, developing, I think, yes, we've got a lot of upside ahead of us. See, Phil, Rams played well for being so beat up. They did. They did, but the problem for them is, and again, they just kept getting more and more and more injuries. And at some point, that does make a massive impact. Dave, Rams laid down and died. I would agree. The more you watch that game film, especially you get, like I said, past halftime, they're just not even trying out there. They're just kind of going through motions. Phil, Lions will be fine. I concur with that. So Smoke, Rams quit in the second half. I would also agree with that. Phil, in overtime, they sure did. Yes, we did. We owned that overtime. Steve, greetings and salutations to Coach Dan and the Duke Crew fam from Arizona, ! Got up extra early to be a part of the show. Thanks for that, Steve, man. And hopefully you have a great time out there. And to give a thumbs up to my favorite content creator. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Go Lions. Woo! And good morning to you, too. And, man, yeah, you it is early out there, but hopefully you have a great time at the game there tomorrow, Steve. See, Phil, more like the Lions took over. Other than that, they played poorly, particularly in coaches. All right, particularly coaches. Yeah, there's some definitely things they could have done better in both games to start the season so far. Don Kong, Super Bowl or bust, ! I hope there's no golf passing skips across the turf for 60 minutes. Yes, let's try to keep the skip passes out of the playbook. I concur with you there, Donkey Kong. Jason, can we please not give up big plays to Marvin Harris Jr.? Man, it will be one of the bigger tests tomorrow. How we handle that, I don't know. Let's see what Aaron Glenn comes up with. But I'm going to guess you're going to give whoever is covering him a little over-the-top help, so a safety over the top. At least that's my guess, but I also know Aaron Glenn doesn't really enjoy doing that. He wants every guy to own his own island. I also get Harrison's a rookie and going into game 3, but he has a matchup problem for the Lions. If it's me, I'd probably put Carlton Davis on him and not Terrion Arnold if Arnold does start tomorrow, but that's me. All right, David, 30th like. Okay, hey, thanks for that, by the way. Hopefully you all hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, by the way. JDC, Dre Forge rocks 100%. Let's hope he rocks and rolls tomorrow. Hatman, sitting in the fog, watching Lions Talk Live and enjoying my woo coffee. Life is good. Well, hey, enjoy the good day, my friend. See, Dave, Red Zone Patrick. Yes, I think he's going to be sneaky good. And we get to about, let's say, after the bye, where now he's had like a month, especially over the bye, a real good, strong stretch to develop. Man, I think he could be a massive win for this team because he provides strong blocking in the run game. He can get physical with the DBs and the linebackers, let's be fair, at the line of scrimmage, and he can provide another layer to the offense that currently, it's not that we don't have a lot of weapons out there. It's just another problem for most defenses. I do think you'll see league-wide, probably by week 4, 5, 6, the offenses really start picking up as everybody evolves and adapts to the new defensive systems that everybody came out with the too high safety look. So I hope Patrick is a big plus for us, and I think he will be. Sarge Hale, what do you got? Good morning, Dan of the Duke Crew. Exclamation points, woo! And good morning to you too, Sarge. Hopefully you're doing well. Derek, good morning, coach and crew. It's all up to Ben Johnson and the offense to bring us that W. I agree. I mean, the defense is going to have to stop Arizona. Obviously, the Cards are able to score and move the ball, but I think it's going to be a shootout. I'm going to say, we're going to win, I don't know, 28-24, something in that range. But yes, the offense, we moved the ball fairly well last week. I was real happy with that, especially when I did inside the numbers, by the numbers, whatever, breakdown of it. You just got to score touchdowns. You can't rely on field goals. Brent Montgomery needs more than 11 carries he had last game. Pounding the rock is one of the keys to victory. Exclamation point. Oh, yeah. And I agree. Yes, you're going to have to get creative in the run game. You're going to have to do something to balance out the defenses because Tampa Bay, the more the game went on, I mean, I get they shot a lot of good gaps. They limited the run game. Some of that's a credit to their second layer to the defense. They just got a ton of speed there, and they hit the holes, with reckless abandon. But you use some more play action, I think you can get some nickel and dime shots down the field and not just look for the kill shots. All right, Dave, bench Arnold for a week. I do wonder if he'll play, at least start. I think he'll play, but I don't know if he'll start this week just because he did miss Wednesday and Thursday. Yes, he did get to go through stuff yesterday, but how much is he going to be on the same page with any nuances they put in? If they don't put in a bunch of new material for the Cards, then he's probably okay. If they put in some good, good amount of new things or terminologies, or hey, we're going to make this adjustment or that adjustment, that's where I probably keep him on the bench, not only just for the entire team, but to protect him as a player too. He is a rookie. I don't want to shatter his confidence. I don't want to do to him what we did to Jeff Okudah. In my opinion, and I'm going to stick with it, I think Jeff Okudah would have been an all-pro free safety in this league or an S1. I think he goes downhill and all that stuff, and I'm not going to do a Jeff Okudah video, but I think the Lions and the coaching staff, you can throw the front office in there too. I think they did a lot to not play to his strengths, trying to force him to be something he wasn't. So anyways, I'll move on from that. Hey, man, I'm being very picky today. I want a win, a big win, and a double woo from Rick and Sheila. All right, you know what? What the heck? Best I can do for you. All right, JDC, Puff, woo, coffee, and then Lions Talk Live. It's an awesome morning, my friend. Hatman, oh yeah, JDC. Hookadoo, are we on the same? We are on the same page. There we go, JDC. Sergeant Hale, Dan, is Sheila a Ford or is she married to a Ford? She is a Ford who is married to a Ham. So I think I got that right. Yeah, she's a Ford by birth. Amy, greetings, salutations, Dan and the Duke Crew. Exclamation points. Wow, awesome for Sheila, but we all knew that Sheila. Yeah, 100%. She's an impressive person, and thankfully she's in charge of the team. Bo, Sheila is married to a hamp. There you go. Sarge, what is a hamp? That's her husband's family. See, Derek, yes, Sheila is Henry's granddaughter and a daughter of Clay Ford. There you go. JDC, thumbs up, half a camp. There you go. Here's Johnny. Sheila was born Ford. All right. Derek Hamp married into a great season tickets. Probably get some pretty good rates on those tickets too. Let's see. Sarge, thanks. Gang should have, but didn't know that. It happens, man. It happens. DM5, I'm looking forward to this game. A huge test to see if we got our issues fixed. Goff, play calling, big plays on defense, goal lines. Woo! Yeah, and I get it, man. Nobody starts the season off playing your best football on any aspect of the game. What we can say is, hey, the special teams in preseason, we were all thinking it was going to be a mess. It's been pretty dang strong. The defense, we had questions. What would that front be like? What would the secondary be like? They haven't played perfect, but I'd say overall they played pretty dang well. The offense, hey, the trend is your friend. Follow the trend. I always like to say, not great the first game, clearly much better the second game. Just got to, hey, put more points on the board. JDC, Sheila be the big kahuna of the Lions organization, and she is doing a fine job. She is. She understands what she knows, what her strengths are, and what my weaknesses are. Who do I need to hire that covers or masks my weaknesses, and they have strengths that will help the entire organization. She's done a great job. The DM5, JDC, gotta love Sheila, finally took over and isn't settling for the same old Lions from top down. No, she's done a great job transforming the organization. Hookadoo, I've been saying we just need to fix the red zone. Go Lions. Yeah, I think you're spot on. In last week's game, you score on 4 of the 7 red zone trips. 3 of the red zone trips out of the 7. We win, and we win going away, and everybody's like, man, the Lions are the most dominant team in the NFL, blah, 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 instead of a lot of the narratives that we see come out. But also understand, that's part of the nature of the beast. You have an opinion, you sometimes we all overreact on it. It happens. All right, Derek, ground and pound keeps the Cards offense out the field. I like the way you are thinking. Bo, Stripes, where's your Sarge? Bill Murray, blown up, sir. There we go. Let's see, creative ideas after week 3, more picks, more sacks. Let's bite the kneecaps. Woo! And I like the way you're thinking, creative ideas. Get the turnovers and get the sacks. Hatman, 35-24, Lions victory. I'll go with that. Dimitri, what I missed, Dan, I gave you a rundown of the numbers that support how strong the Lions offense is, other than scoring in the red zone. The rest of it, man, you're in the top 10 in almost everything on offense. A lot of different offensive categories. We're in the top 3. So I think the Lions offense, the more the season goes on, is going to be a problem for every team we face. Lions fan, let's see. Good morning, all. Well, we can't win them all, but we will crush them tomorrow. Super Bowl. I agree. You're not going to win them all. I don't care who you are. My philosophy has always been as a coach, you learn more from a loss than a win. I think this will help galvanize the team a little bit more, get them focused, make coaches identify some things a little bit more. It's sleepless nights when you lose as coach and any team. I can tell you, man, there have been a lot of times I can say, in years past when I had a team maybe play on a Thursday, we didn't play again until Monday. Man, I didn't sleep at all until Monday night when we got another win. All right, Motor City Polly, greetings, salutations, y'all. I think we're seeing that experience is important, and the young group will just need some games to get to where they need to be instead of picking up where they left off like we wanted. Yeah, and hey, you got some new aspects in the team. You also got to shake off some rust, but I think we're going to get there, like you're saying, Motor City, fairly quickly. Jake K, offense getting nuked, question mark. Are they gone? Play really, really good, coach? I think we have played fairly well, other than a couple things here and there. You clean that up, like everybody else in the NFL, you got the stuff to clean up. I think, by the time we get to the middle of the season, we're probably all talking about the Detroit Lions offense as a top 5, top 3 unit, somewhere in that area. And JDC, Motor City Do Crew, sounds like a t-shirt opportunity to me. Dimitri, good morning, Lions fan. Woo! And good morning to you too. Lions fan, hand raised, spot on. Been a weird start. That's football. It is, man. It is, 100%. So, and thanks for that. Sarge, great show, Dan. Exclamation point, go Lions. Woo! And good morning to you. Well, yeah, I've already said good morning to you, but hey, thanks for that. How about that? JDC, Magic 8 Ball says, Lions Super Bowl, question mark? Heck yeah, exclamation point. Hetman, new thumbnail starting tomorrow. All right, we'll go with that. Miles Barker, dang, we tried to sleep in today, but all those woos, except Skippers, keep waking me up. 100%. Yeah, Skippers is probably a very good and easy to sleep to. Woo. Let's see, Dimitri, what up, though, Dan? How you doing? How you doing today, man? Hopefully, a great one. Hetman, Miles Barker, good one, love it, 100%. Cortez, what do you got? We should win that game. Plus, we haven't lost back-to-back games since 2021. Yeah, I want to say that we're 8-0 the last 8 games at least in avoiding back-to-back losses. All right, Motor City, I love the Saturday live chat group, ! Not fair weather fans here. No, we're not. We're pretty regulars. Go Lions, Superdome, Super Bowl, no bust. Woo, woo, woo. And back at you, my friend. You know what? We haven't had one in a minute, so let's give a... And there you go. Let's see, Hookadoo here, Miles Marker. It's better than coffee. Laughing out loud. Woo! All right. And let's see, Bo, beginning of the 2022 season, Cortez, but that's just history. I'll go with that. JDC, Hetman, I will be anticipating, anxiously anticipating. There we go. Miles Marker, laughing upside down. JK, take it one card at a time. I see what you did there. Hetman, Murray can't run with 2 kneecaps bitten off. Oh, yeah. Hey, get to those knees early, my friend. Get them there. JDC, Erie, in case of win or loss, plan B. All right. It's good to have plans. And I love it when a plan comes together. Creative idea. Chase Murray everywhere. He is a punter, makes risky throws, an opportunity to pick some INTs. Yeah, let's do what we can to get some of those picks and get some turnovers. Hetman, long distance, Erie, JDC. Josh Jackson, if we play Lions football, we win. Cards strength is play action, which helps get Laporta involved as well. Run the ball and facilitate the pass. Go Lions, man! I can't talk this morning, but I agree with you, Josh. I think that's a great plan. Running the ball, set up the pass. JDC, fall colors are starting to rock. There we go, and hopefully they'll roll. Iceman, did Hendon Hooker get traded to the Titans? Not that I'm aware of. No, not that I'm aware of. Let's see, Dimitri. Let's see, 27-17 Detroit. Let's go, 100%. I'll take that. JDC Magic 8 Ball says Detroit Lions will rock. All right, I'll take that. Hetman, you rock, Dan. Woo! No, you guys rock. The Duke Crew rocks. All right, here's Johnny. Goff needs to do better on pre-read and post-snap progressions. He played a little scared lately. That's why only 2 sacks. Yeah, he's gotten rid of the ball pretty quick. I think there's a lot of layers to how he can play better. The offense perform better. Hopefully, every week we see more and more stepping forward. JDC, as some fans want the Lions to be, ain't going to be happy that way. Humans against humans, anything can happen. Yeah, and I get sometimes when losses happen or at games, people get partying. Things sometimes are said or whatever that we don't really mean. It's sort of like the incident, the tailgating incident last week. And I get they released the video for that unfortunate event. I'm surprised they released it, but at the same time, I also gets clicks and likes and everything. So hopefully everybody just has a good time, support each other and the team. JK, so the offense gets their grip back? I hope so. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yay, woo. I'll go with that. Yay, woo. Bo Hutch Jr. sleeping in? It does appear so. So I haven't, at least I haven't seen anything from him. So maybe he is sleeping in a bit. Hookadoo, 34-24 Lions. I'll go with that. Patrick, woo! The Lions O is starting to show up big time starting this game. And the D is going to be the top dominant. I'll go with that. Let's see. JDC getting real on the D. Go Lions. I agree with that. Patrick, I still say 31-10 Lions over Cards. I would accept that score in a New York minute. Here's Johnny. Smash that like button, Duke Crew. Woo! And good morning, dude, too. Yes, if you guys can, hit the like, hit the subscribe. They all help out. Dimitri, can I get a woo? Oh, yeah. You know what? I'll give you a woo for sure. Ask and he shall receive. Mark GT, we will find out Sunday how smart Ben Johnson can be. Yes, this will be a big opportunity for him to reestablish the offense, get some points on the board, and maybe quell some worries too. JDC, woo! And back at you. Patrick, quote, I love it when a plan comes together, end quote. The Lions are the Michigan's A-team. 100%. I agree there. Dimitri, go blue, baby. 100%. A lot of exclamation points there. Hatman, Hutch Jr. being a lightweight today. That might be, man. Yeah, I don't know. So we had it planned, but maybe something popped up. Maybe we had to drive the wife to work or something. You never know, man. All right, Bo, a lot of things went wrong so far. Nothing that can't be fixed. No, you're spot on with that with the offense. I do think we talked about it this week. Glasgow, moving from right to left. I get he's played left on a limited basis last year, but he's got to figure some footwork and hand placement stuff out. That's going to slow down his progression a little bit until he gets that figured out. As far as the offense working in Steel healing Laporta, even though I do think we've all talked about there were some times last week he was open, didn't get the ball, trying to fit in JMO more and more. There are some aspects of things that only repetitions can teach, so they will have to get through those. And then, yes, I think the offense is going to be fine. But we can say the same for the defense, too. The defense has performed well, but just think about a month from now how much better they'll perform. All right, JDC, the trickeration factor, yes, I'm all for that, man, as coach. I like to catch people napping. JK, where's Superman Kurt? That's a big question. I do not know. See, Hatman, tomorrow I want to hear the woos across the state at 4 p.m. Let's see what we can do. Maybe we can organize that, coordinate it. Patrick, I think the run game is going to explode this week. Me too, man. I think they're going to come out with a chip on their shoulder. Don Burt, this smells like one of those sneaky Brock Wright games. Let's make that happen. Get him more involved. And you guys already know my idea about the no backs in the backfield, or I'd get rid of that myself, but it is what it is. And then, the power I formation, they're going to have to develop that a little bit more because right now it hasn't been effective in 2 weeks. Creative idea, Strickland will play tomorrow. I like the kid. I think he's got a huge upside. I think he can be another playmaker in the secondary, but he's going to need time to develop. JDC, one Duke crew, yell on 3. 1, 2, 3. Woo! Everybody there. Let's see. Dimitri, hey, Dan, do you think the Lions will trade Houston for Riddick? Boy, could they do it? I'd be all for adding Riddick. The problem is he's held out on 2 straight teams he's played for, wants new contracts each time. I would just throw this at you. Does that sound like somebody Brad Holmes is going to bring in? That would be my question, because he's clearly talented. There's no questions there. But, it just doesn't seem like somebody that Brad Holmes would want to add to our roster for that same reason, because is he going to do it now a third time? I don't know. We'll see. But Houston, if he doesn't play this week, then I'm just going to assume. I get he got 3 snaps last week, but this week, if he doesn't get any reps against a very agile quarterback, then I just don't think it's going to happen with James Houston here unless there's significant injuries. All right, let's see. Jason, Hutch sack predictions. I'm going to go with, how about 3? Because if he gets 2.5, he gets the NFL record over a 5-game span. So I'm going to push for 3 sacks this week, although he's going to probably receive a ton of blocking attention from the Cards. Patrick, I think the run game will run over the Cards like they did over the Rams in OT. I'm hoping for that. Kurt Steele, Boss Up, Ball Out podcast. What up, though, Duke Crew? What up to you, too, Man of Steel? See, Dimitri, I feel like they should, because they're not playing Houston. I wonder if teams do call about Houston. Teams that need more pass rushing options. The only thing is, if I'm Detroit, unless it's just a deal that blows me away, I probably don't get rid of him, just because if injuries happen, we know what he can do against the quarterback. It's just for whatever reason they're not playing him, and my guess is because of the run game. Let's see, Bo, Riddick doesn't fit the grit. Maybe not. Chuck E. Cheese, good morning, Coach and Duke Crew. Woo! And good morning to you, too. Moonscar Blade. And hey, by the way, I did get your text last night. Just we're out and about, but I'm going to look at adding. Moonscar sent over something to add to the woo-rificness of the show. I'm going to try to maybe add that in tomorrow. Moonscar, hey, Kurt, good morning, Duke Crew. Back at you. Hookadoo, are you doing a live chat live today, Kurt? Well, let's find out. See, Patrick, what's happening with you, Boss Up, Ball Out podcast to Detroit Lions, 100%. Let's find out. See, Brent Riddick, not a culture fit. Maybe not. Let's see, Dimitri. Don, what up, though? What up to you both? Let's see, Chuck Cheese. I don't think Riddick would act up like that here because he'd be happy. If he's happy, maybe he doesn't. And that's something only the coaching staff and the front office can answer. Maybe they talk to them and see what they have to say. Chamera, what do you got? We should have kept Betts. Maybe. And he's not here now. And now I think he's back in Canada with the British Columbian Lions. Don't quote me to that, but that sounds right. Dave, put Houston in. I'm all for it, but they don't listen to me, unfortunately, Dave. Don, Dimitri Flintstone, exclamation points. Bridgeland, set up the play action. I agree there. I think, hey, you establish that run game. You play to Goff's strengths now with that play action pass. As long as you block it well, yeah, he should do very well with that. I think that's a great call there, Bridgeline. See, JK, we all need to grit it together 100%. I'll go with that. And Kurt Steele, we're about to record our game predictions, and it will be up an instant premiere. Okay, there you go. Let's see what they have to predict. JDC, tick, November, 100%. Don Burr, what do you got? Bold prediction. Gibbs and Montgomery both have 100-yard rushing games. Man, we do that, we're winning. I'm going to go on record saying that. JK, good morning. Kurt, good morning. There you go. Chuck E. Cheese, I'm starting to think Houston thing was just a passing fad. He'd be playing, right? Question mark. They know something. I can only offer you my thoughts. I've told you guys, I guess the unknown factor with James Houston, if that leg just really hasn't healed. He hasn't regained that form that he had prior to the injury. Again, that stuff you and I won't know without seeing him on the field in practice and stuff like that. My guess is the reason why he's not playing is the reason why his rookie year with the Lions, he didn't play until all the injuries decimated the defensive front. It's because his ability to play against the run. That being said, though, once he got on the field, obviously he was a problem for everybody. And he wasn't horrible against the run. He was just better against the pass. I don't know, guys. It's just my anticipation. The coaches just want somebody who's more flexible, can be more of a Swiss Army knife, play multiple positions. And to be fair, even though I love the guy to death, that is not his forte. All right, creative idea. Put Brian Branch in the box for Spy Murray. Yeah, I've thought about that too, and I think that's a great idea there, creative idea. We'll see what they do. Hold on, screen's flipping out a little bit here, so I got to try to fix it real quick. There we go. All right, Brent, linebacker sacks on Sunday. Barnes and Captain Jack. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got to imagine you have a real strong opportunity here to be blitzing the Cards a lot. Now, if you're blitzing, I probably wouldn't do more than 5. So you're creating one-on-one matchups with the offensive line unless you do something exotic with it, I guess. But just because you do want to show some attention to that wide receiving core and passing game for the Cards. But, hey, you can roll with some stuff, maybe send 6 guys and create an overload situation. Miles Barker, Bridgeline, 100% with that. You on that for sure, 100%. I agree with it. Yeah, set up the run to set up the pass. Patrick, I noticed when we played the Rams that they have a reader on D like we do. Does Reader have a brother? That I don't know. To be fair. JDC, like you said, Coach, limit the no back looks on offense. Yeah, Goff's no threat to go out there and run. You now told everybody it's going to be a pass. I don't like that myself. So I think it's hard enough to play offense or defense. Don't tell everybody what you're doing in advance. Chuck E. Cheese, Houston is a one-trick pony, apparently, so we can't disguise any schemes if he's out there. But hopefully you are right. He's not healthy. I like him. I like him a ton, too. Maybe the leg just hasn't healed up. I don't know. It's hard to say. See, Bo, empty shotgun, question mark. Can't hit nothing with an empty weapon. This is true. We can throw the weapon at him, I guess. We can throw golf at him. Don Burr, Detroit 31, Arizona 20. I like the way you're thinking, Donnie Burr. Let's see, Patrick, I think Brian Branch jumps a route for a pick 6. Let's make that happen. JK 34-30 Lions. I'll take that. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap this one up, get some stuff done today. Hutch Jr., I guess, just didn't make it on today. Maybe he is sleeping in. Who knows, man? If there is some sort of breaking news today, I'll get it over to you as quick as possible. If you would be so kind while you're checking out, if you haven't yet subscribed, please consider doing so. Also, hit that thumbs up button, the like button. You guys all know the drill. It helps out a ton. Try to get every video to 200 to 300 or more thumbs up or likes. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Do something kind for somebody you don't know. We'll see you all in the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, everybody.
Happy trails to you until we meet again.